because I'm a fucking night crawler and I like to spend the early morning / late nights, like basically 2 to 4 a.m. is my range, as you guys know, of going to sleep. These late F1 races are really in my prime zone of awareness throughout any part of the day. That little time slot is when I'm the sharpest I could ever be. So these past 2 weeks of Australia being at 1 a.m., I think, and Japan being at 1 a.m., that's prime real estate for me to watch F1 and really just think about it, absorb it for a day or two, and then give my complaints and my thoughts on how the season's going. In about 2 weeks, the Chinese GP will be going on. That one I will not be watching in protest of F1 for even having a race that comes on in America at 3 a.m. I think the United States should take that as a threat, and whoever, Bernie Ecclestone or Stefano Domenicali, whoever runs F1, America should take these past 3 races as a threat because of how shit the times have been, and send some troops up to fucking somewhere in England where the F1 headquarters is and sort them out. So that way every race can be in America on Sunday at like 9 to 10 a.m. So it's not a secret that Max Verstappen is fucking inevitable. I mean, I imagine that being on the racetrack, like being the other 19 drivers on the grid, it's probably the equivalent of loading into a COD lobby and seeing some guy with like 3 like Japanese letters in their gamer tag. That's probably, like, you know how that strikes fear into you when you're getting into a COD match and you see some shit like that? You just know you're going to get fucked. That's probably how, like, Oscar Piastri and, like, Checo and all these other motherfuckers feel. And all these fucking stunads saying that, F1 is so boring now that it's being dominated. Yeah, Max Verstappen is fucking eating the entire grid, but let's not act like that's just not part of the sport. Like, in 10 years, there will be no more Max Verstappen. Like, he'll be all on some other random fucking team. Or he won't be in the sport. Like, he'll be doing endurance racing or sim racing or some shit. And it'll be a whole new fucking guy that comes in and wins all the races. Like, fucking, you guys think Oscar Piastri's not gonna fucking, in 5 years, be a 30-time world champion? Like, be for real. Oscar Piastri's the next fucking GOAT. So, once Max Verstappen steps out of line, it's just gonna be another guy. And then after that, another guy. Unless something drastic happens where they turn it into a spec series. But that shit's not going to fucking happen. I mean, it's Formula 1. So we had that lap 1 incident where Daniel Ricciardo crashed into Alex Albon and just took him out of the race. Now, I knew like Ricciardo was involved. Like, I knew it wasn't Tsunoda. But I was so dead set on it being Sargeant that went out and not Albon. Like, I was mentally already in the mind space to start flaming Logan Sargeant. Because basically every time I have the option to shit on Logan Sargeant for how bad he is, I love taking that opportunity. I don't take any opportunity to shit on Sargeant for granted. Daniel Ricciardo, like, dude, I want him to succeed pretty bad, but he just doesn't have it anymore. Like, there's no bounce back. Like, it's fucked. Liam Lawson, dude, in 5 races, you guys think Daniel Ricciardo's still going to be in the sport? Be for real, guys. Be for real. He's just making too many mistakes, and he's outright not fast enough. Like, Yuki Tsunoda's just fucking taking a shit on him at the moment. He's making Yuki Tsunoda look like fucking Michael Schumacher out there. And one thing I wanted to point out about, like, F1 cinematography and how they, like, fucking run the cameras on the races, they take way too fucking long to show the replays of what happened when people crash. Like, it should be within 5 seconds. Once there's, like, a yellow flag or a red flag and we're like, all right, the race is chilling, show the fucking people watching what happened. Don't make us wait 3 fucking minutes just to see one angle of it. And on top of that, the first angle they showed on the fucking program was the worst angle. Like, you couldn't even tell, like, who was responsible for the crash. Obviously, Ricciardo was responsible for the crash because he fucking turned out into Albon. It doesn't matter if you didn't see him. You should see him. It's still your fault, even if you didn't see him. Albon, poor guy, you know, but he'll bounce back. He's fucking goated. Albon is so dirty at racing fucking race cars, dude. It's insane. Like, Albon's that guy. Except in 2019, he wasn't that guy, but he evolved, trust. And then young Yukilis Tsunoda, he got his China point, sorry, I get him mixed up for no reason. He got his points in Japan. I'm not sure if it's the first or second time he's got points in Japan. I think he got points in Japan last season or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. Nothing really of note happened in the race. Like, I stayed up till 1. Who am I kidding? I was up until 1 anyway, but I watched this race, like, spend my time watching this race. It's just the most boring race possible. It was just so, like, nothing happened. The only thing of note happened is Logan Sargeant just fucking, I don't know, he was just chilling. Actually, bro, I was getting kind of hyped. He was kind of putting America on the map because he was, like, P17 at some point. He was, like, past 2 people. I think it was an Alpine and an Alfa Romeo, or, like, a fucking Kick Sauber. So I was like, all right, Logie boy's getting in there. He's getting his hands dirty. He's going to be P18 this race instead of P20. Let's fucking go. Score 1 for the Bald Eagles. But, yeah, that just didn't pan out. It's like George Washington didn't fucking die for Logan Sargeant to be this shit at driving F1 cars. It perplexes me that this motherfucker's in the sport and a motherfucker like Matt Marauder's not in the sport. How can Logan Sargeant if I was in that car, I'd have to like chop my legs off from the knee down so I could fit in the car because I'm a gigantic statured human. But like, I don't know how Williams, is there really no other option? Like, can't they get that motherfucker Vips in there? What's his name? Like Yuri Vips? Isn't he like a Williams driver or some shit? Can't they just grab someone and get them in there? It's like there's no excuse, in my opinion, for these drivers to come in and they need like a season to adjust. It should be, if you go into F1, and I know this might be controversial, it should be if you go into F1, if you're not good from the fucking jump, you're out of the sport. Like, Lewis Hamilton didn't have 2 years to fucking sit back and relax. Charles Leclerc didn't have 2 years to sit back and relax. Max was fucking 4 when he got in an F1 car, and he was immediately, he won a race on his debut, didn't he? Or some shit like that. He won a race before he had a driver's license. So how does a motherfucker named Logan Sargeant get into the only redeeming quality he has for me is that he's an American. Because I love seeing Americans succeed. But guess what I'm not seeing is Americans succeed. He's like disgracing the country by even being in the sport. He should go to like Formula E or some shit. Was he even good in F2? I'm pretty sure he wasn't even that good in F2. Like, didn't he just scrape by with super license points? But he puts it into the fucking gravel on like, what is that? Let me see. So you got turn 1, turn 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Was it turn 7 or turn 8? Something around there. Right before the hairpin. He fucking locks it up or some shit and puts it into the gravel and then just cucks up his whole entire race. His car, he turned it into a fucking WRC car. And people are wondering why they're giving the good car to Albon. But I'll chill on Logan Sargeant for now. There's really not much to talk about this race, to be honest. I mean, Carlos Sainz is just absolute at the moment. He's just tearing Charles Leclerc a new one. Max Verstappen had like a 3-minute gap by lap 4. And I mean, that's expected. I mean, right off, even on the race start, he was like 5 seconds ahead before the red flag happened. Oh, that brings me to another point. Hey, fucking marshals at these F1 tracks, be quicker repairing the fucking sidewall so we don't have to wait a half hour at 1 a.m. for the race to continue, for the boring race to continue. They should get that machine, that crane machine that fucking picks up the cars. They should have the cars picked up and off the track within 5 minutes, and the barrier should be finished within 5 minutes. There's 300 fucking stunads there that should be able to fix these fucking tire walls. We shouldn't have to wait. Oh, it'll be started at 2:31 Eastern time. And then you look at the clock and you're like, wait, I have to wait 20 more minutes for this red flag to be over just because 2 fucking assholes crashed into each other because Daniel Ricciardo can't look to his right. Daniel Ricciardo should get fucking penalty points just for fucking everything up for all the people that were trying to watch this race. There's something about Ted Kravitz that I absolutely hate. I hate when they cut to Ted Kravitz. So if anyone from F1 TV is watching, fire Ted Kravitz. He should be jailed. Bernie Ecclestone, she's cool, I guess. She could stay. I mean, I don't know what the fucking use of her is. It should just be Crofty and fucking Martin Brundle for the fucking thing. Like, when Brundle's not there, like, I kind of get tight because he's the kind of the one that makes me like listening to the commentary. Obviously, Crofty's good, but like sometimes he's a little much. You need Brundle to like balance it out. The Alpines, like I said, I've been praying on their downfall since they took over Renault because I loved Renault. So I'm glad that they're just absolutely so far into the woods that it's like they're not even competitive. They're like 2021 Haas. Oh, that brings me to Haas. Magnussen, he's fucking washed. Hülkenberg is absolute. Hülkenberg is so fucking good. Motherfuckers are sleeping on Hülkenberg. He's like the best driver on the grid behind Max Verstappen right now, and I'm not even joking. Hülkenberg, I love seeing him succeed. We'll take us down to Aston Martin now. We all heard Lance Stroll's team radio calling the car a shitbox while his teammate Fernando Alonso was just chilling in P5. So it's like, Lance, step your fucking game up. This whole Lance Stroll situation these past like 10 fucking years, I'm so over it, bro. Get him out. Like, Lance, he should have, when he broke his wrist last season, that should have been it. They should have axed him from the team. Lawrence Stroll, I don't know whose dick he's sucking to get these billions of dollars, but I'm so over it, bro. Like, get someone else in there, bro, for the love of God. God, if you're listening, please get someone else into the Aston Martin. So that could work. Maybe if that works next season, Lance won't be in a seat, and you can come back and thank me for it. Fernando Alonso's a Chad. We all know that. Am I missing anyone? The McLarens, that's fucking boring. I mean, they're good. They were good at Suzuka. The McLarens were good last year. They were good this year again. They're like basically even, Oscar and Lando, which is like they're basically the same human, so it makes sense. I mean, look at them. Steak, they should just retire for the rest of the season because like they can't even complete a pit stop. So what's up with that? Literally every race, their pit stops get fucked up. So why are they even competing in the sport? They should just leave while they have the chance, so they don't tarnish their name. And then in 2026, Audi can just come in. They should just be voided from the grid until 2026, in my opinion. If there's any teams I'm missing, then they're irrelevant, to be honest, because I haven't talked about them. So that's basically my Japanese GP review. It was shitty. So if I had to give it a 1 to 5, I mean, I'd probably give it like a 2 just because I got to see some good Logan Sargeant flops. So that really boosted my morale and made me believe that I could actually be in an F1 car. If anyone's watching this, they'll watch the race. Let me know if you think my points are all fucked, because I think I'm dead on the fucking money. So I'll see you guys on the next video.